We don't want to show our faults. We don't want people to see our shadow because we think that they're going to either leave us or reject us or hurt us. So we create these environments where faults are not welcome, where you only have to bring your best self. That's called self-presentation. But that results in spaces that are not vital and are not playful and are not growth-inducing. Today I'm going to show you how to create different kinds of spaces. Hi, my name is Dr. Assael Romanelli, and this is The Potential State. And today we're in Own Your Shit 37. Your faults are welcome here. So, as I've said before, we hide our shadow, look at the shadow episode later, and we're used to defending ourselves and making sure that no one's going to see it. So we basically start running away, repressing our secrets, our faults, our shadow, our shits, all those other traits that we don't like to see. We don't like to do it. But the price of that is that it keeps us reactive. And then we're eggshelling, and I'm always hiding, and I'm always this anxiety that they're just going to find out any minute now, and they're going to leave me. So there's almost like this fear, the fear and anxiety that's kind of always there inside these environments and these relationships. So how do you solve that? You create an environment where when new blind spots, when shit or shadow or defense mechanisms are discovered, there's a celebration, there's an opening. There's an opening. This requires play. And own your shit, your own your shit. So refer back to play is the loop of life and own your shit. And I want to give you an example of that. So I was supervising this female therapist, and she was very anxious, and she shared something that she did in therapy, and someone said, wow, look at that. When she does that, you do that. We kind of stumble upon a defense mechanism, and she immediately got scared to deny it. And that made sense because she also grew up in an environment, and she was in a marriage where any mistake was a disaster, and any fault you'd get slammed on any fault that you showed. And then I said to her, let's reflect on that. And it took time in our supervision to slowly rewire her brain and to create a potential state where we could explore and play and expand on her blind spots. And another example is my daughter. My 5-year-old daughter is super, super sweet, and she always kind of gets my eldest son in trouble. But she's always so innocent and sweet, and we never suspected. And the other day, she purposely kind of teased him until he hit her, and then he usually gets the punishment. And he did it, and he bit the bait, and he hit her, and we sent him to the room. And then my wife went to kind of reprimand him, and then I stayed with her, and I said, Lala, is it possible that you were kind of teasing him? Kind of doing what you need to do in order for him to hate you? And in the beginning, she denied it, but suddenly said, it's fine, bring it. And then she owned her shit. She said like this. And she meant like this. But then I said, no, it's okay. And let's go say it. And that was the first time that she owned her shit, that she actually admitted that she gets her brother in trouble. She's not just the victim. She has this manipulative side. And we all laughed and we celebrated it. And it wasn't something that she was ashamed of. It was like, wow, thank you so much for opening that. And I'm so excited about that possibility because if we can create a space in our families that faults are welcome, then our kids as adults will not be embarrassed by their own shit, by their own shadow. They'll be able to talk about it, to bring it, to express it. And we spoke so many times about the advantages of own your shit, so I'm not going to expand on that right now. So how do you do that? How do you create a space where faults are welcome? First of all, share this episode with your partners. Then next, reflect on this core belief that my shadow or my faults are bad, or that people will leave me if they find me. Reflect on that core belief, try to soften that. And then as you're living your life, as you're in these relationships, when you see or discover a new defense mechanism or a new shit that you're hiding from your partner, instead of hiding it or being shameful of it, take a second, stay playful, stay loving. Exercise, we have this thing we call Own Your Shit Sparks, where you prepare kind of a list of the shit you do that you usually deny, of faults that you usually try to minimize. And you slowly confess them one by one, like little sparks. Remind yourself that you're not perfect and your partner is perfect, and the truth is they probably know some of them anyways. They somehow implicitly intuited some of your faults. Remind yourself that shadow and faults are part of human life. And instead of hiding them, bring them so you can bring your full self. And if you can kind of practice Own Your Shit Sparks and your partner shares with you and you don't go, aha, you say, wow, thank you so much for owning that. Thank you so much for admitting that. Where faults or little ridiculous behaviors are not being judged but celebrated, over time you're going to create an environment where there are no mistakes, where growth is more important than ego. growth is more important than ego, which means you do not have to hide it. You can actually bring it, because what's more important is that I know who I am and start discovering my shadow, which also has my resources, than saving face, than being always nice. And over time, you will feel you can be more yourself. You'll be encouraged to grow, and you will just feel yourself getting bigger and bigger. So create spaces where faults are not only welcome, they're celebrated, and grow. My name is Dr. Assael Romanelli, and this was The Potential State. I'll see you next time.